So how about NFTs, huh? Aren't they just the dumbest thing you've ever been a part of, Zach?
Honestly, dude, I don't know much about NFTs. I'm not gonna lie to you.
They're just important JPEGs. It's like to me it's like Pokemon, having rare Pokemon cards, but on the internet that apparently no one else can have. But if I right click it and hit save as, I could save it as a PNG, and then bam, oh my god, I own it. That's crazy. They're just digital pictures that you like own purely. But I also don't know the depths of it.
What's the difference from like having them though? Like, what's the difference from just doing that now?
I don't know, because people are
You just get to say you own it.
It's just entitlement. That's pretty much it.
Heard.
Yeah. A sense of pride and accomplishment, Zach. That's what it is.
Ron, that's crazy that you bring up NFTs.
Mm-hmm. It is crazy.
It is. But first, ladies and gentlemen, this is the PS Pony podcast, where once a week, every week, me and my best friend Ron get together to bring you all of the news you need to know about video games, about PlayStation, and sometimes even Xbox. Ron, how you doing, man? What's going on? How's your life?
I'm doing great, man. If you can't really tell, probably the audio might be a little bit different. We are remote today due to snow and Zach having COVID, two very important factors, one of them more important than the other. Snow
sucks.
Yeah, I know. I've been pretty good. Just been playing Persona 5 Royale. I'm probably gonna uninstall Warzone today, and I've been playing a lot of Deep Rock Galactic.
Hey, what are your thoughts on Deep Rock?
I'm really liking it. They finally came out with an update that lets myself, Aaron, and Greg play together since we're all on the same internet, which is weird. Nice. But I guess there was a bug, and that's like right when Aaron starts falling out of the game, of course. So Greg and I could play together if you're ever not online or anything. So that's good.
Yeah.
And then just some Overwatch. But yeah, I'm probably be getting rid of Warzone. I'm just really bored of it, and I don't want to like keep going back to it. You know. I'll probably only delete it if the next time there's an update where I need to delete stuff, or if I want to download something and I can't. So probably when the Uncharted collection comes out, I'm gonna uninstall it.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude, I've just been playing a lot of Hades. A lot of Hades this past week. I finally went back and I platinumed it. I really thought I'd feel better about it. Because I thought Hades would be like one of those like Hollow Knights or like Dark Souls, where it's like, ooh, this is like a platinum I'm proud of. But if I'm being honest, man, after like doing it, it's a really easy platinum. It just comes down to like time put into the game, and like I think I'd feel a little differently about that if there were more of like those challenging trophies. Like I cleared a 32 heat run without realizing that wasn't a trophy, so I spent a lot of time doing that. So like good for me, I guess, but also I wish that was a trophy, like unlocking that third Skelly statue. Like I wish there were a little more of those like clearing heats and more of challenge, like basically like a Pantheon type thing, like in Hollow Knight.
Right.
But it's a great game, man. It didn't taint anything with the game. I loved it. If you guys haven't played it, I'd highly recommend it. But you know what I hopped into last night, Ron?
What's that?
A short hike.
Mm-hmm. It's a short game, from what I've heard.
Let me tell you something, man. I don't know. So I recommend. First off, I recommend this game. I recommend this game immediately to anyone out there who's into video games. But I don't mean go out and play it immediately. I mean, wait until you are bogged down by like games, just by like stuff happening, whether that's in your life or whether that's gaming, whether you're tired of grinding for that gun in Destiny or popping that trophy or whatever it may be. Whenever you're feeling really fatigued on like just the monotony of a game, that's when you should play a short hike. Because I think a lot of it was coming right off of Hades. Just at that point I was just doing runs just over and over and over and over again, not necessarily feeling very challenged by it because I wasn't doing any heat. I was mainly just trying to get different conversations to pop up, but hopping into a short hike, it was very nice. It was this nice breath of fresh air. There's no real direction in the game. The goal of the game is to get to the top of the mountain. But there's no markers or quest logs or anything that's really like forcing you or pushing you in that direction. And it is just really therapeutic in a lot of ways. The world is dense, but also very small. So there's always something to discover. And yeah, like I just it was the first time in a while that like I just played a game and I just like did what I wanted. I spent probably 30 minutes just hitting a beach ball over a volleyball net with a stick back and forth, like seeing with this other kid, like trying to see how many we can get. Mm-hmm. It was a great game. So
is there a plat?
Yeah, I actually platinumed it. Yeah,
I'm not surprised. How many are you at now?
I think I'm at 120, maybe.
Why do I feel like that number should be higher?
I honestly, I really haven't been going for plats all that much recently. Yeah, I'm at 120.
You've just been playing Warzone. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Warzone. But even other than that, like a lot of the games I feel like I've played, I really haven't platinumed.
Like Far Cry 6 and stuff.
Yeah, I'd like to platinum Far Cry 6, but it's those multiplayer trophies that really are gonna be the thing.
Right.
But yeah, man, a short hike. I think the biggest like thing that I loved about it was the fact that it was short. I didn't feel like I was starting like with Persona. I didn't feel like I was starting this big like 100+ hour thing or like getting into some big thing. Like I felt really no commitment to it when I started it, and it came in and ended in like a great amount of time. Because I think I started it probably around 8 o'clock, and I beat it around like 11. I want to say. So it's not long at all, and like I was taking my time, dude. I was exploring stuff. I was just, the movement in the game is so fluid. You can fly, so you can glide, and there's a lot of like peaks and stuff you can just jump off of and go. It's just a really fun, cute game. I am working on a review on it right now. It's almost done, so I'm hoping to have that up. So, but yeah.
Can't wait to.
Other than that, I'm in this weird limbo right now. I don't know what to play. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you have Uncharted coming out in a few weeks from now.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun. And then that'll pretty much just hold us off until the next couple exclusives drop.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm excited for. But, Zach, a lot of news this week. A lot of PlayStation news. Specifically around PlayStation Now, Philly Spencer, NFTs, shortages, kind of the same old, but kind of better, too. So there's big news today. There's a lot of new rumors of PlayStation getting like a Games Pass competitor. Phil Spencer.
Spartacus.
Yes. And Phil Spencer just had a couple words about it, but this was written on IGN, written by Joe Scribus, however you say it.
Scrabbles.
Just whatever.
Joe Scrabbles.
Oh, yeah, that's an L. Yeah. I don't have my glasses on. Anyway. Pretty much just the big quote from Phil Spencer says, quote, "As you know, so many of these things actually intertwine within themselves, from backwards compatibility in terms of a way of building out a library of games that we have shipped on PC and console simultaneously. Knowing that Games Pass is going to come and we want to bring Games Pass to multiple platforms, all of these decisions kind of stack on top of themselves. I don't mean it to sound like we've got it all figured out, but I think the right answer is allowing your customers to play the games they want to play, where they want to play them, and giving them choice about how they build their library, and being transparent with them about what our plans are in terms of our PC initiatives and our cross-gen initiatives and other things." That's just in regards to kind of the brand that Xbox Games Pass has built over the years.
Yeah.
That's what Phil had to say about it.
I think this just makes, the most sense. Like, Xbox was the first one to do it, but like they'd be fools to think that other companies aren't going to jump in and try to do the same thing. I do like the outlook he's looking at it from is like from the the fact that other people are or other companies are emulating what they're doing is just a sign that they're moving in the right direction. And he kind of has this attitude of if we didn't, we were just the first to do it. If we didn't do it, someone would have, Mm-hmm. So I think that kind of speaks a lot on like how they view Games Pass, but rather than it just being a very convenient, nice service, but like really changing the industry in a completely different way. So
Yeah, and it's something we've just kind of appreciated over the years. They're building a lot of the groundwork, but the somewhat problem is that when PlayStation has this, I don't think they're going to have everything running obviously as quick as Microsoft did. They'll probably have like the backwards compatibility stuff for old gen games ready to go, but in terms of playing it on your phone and other things, I don't see that happening for a while.
yeah, well, that's the thing too. Is I feel like for a while, like Sony and Xbox have both succeeded in very different places. You know, like Sony's always had very strong single player first party exclusives. You know, Xbox has always had that, but with multiplayer. You know, Sony's dedicated a lot of time to like the DualSense, to VR, to more things like that, whereas Xbox is dedicated all the time to backwards compatibility and more of a user experience with Games Pass and integrating things into PC. And it feels a lot like Sony is playing catch up when it comes to those things. But with single player exclusives, it feels like Microsoft is playing a lot of catch up. So I think both companies are kind of learning a lot from each other in what they're doing, especially with like Xbox asking, you know, their users if something like the DualSense would be intriguing to them. You know, I think that shows that. I don't think it really. I think it's a little more trivial than just saying, oh, they're copying each other. But like at the end of the day, yeah, like one of them has success, so the other one emulates that in order to gain that success. But that just ends up, you know, pushing them to do better, you know, in each of their respective categories. So
yeah, exactly. I'm excited to see what they develop if they do go the DualSense kind of route with adaptive triggers and haptics. They need haptics. I think the rumbling is so outdated though.
Yeah. I mean, we talked a little bit about this a few days ago, Ron, but you know, I think I've become really spoiled with the haptics in the sense of like I'm so used to using the DualSense. My Apple Watch has haptics in it, and even this, as you said, the Switch that has some type of haptic in it as well. Right. So picking up like a PS4 controller and feeling like just like the old Rumble, it's like night and day. You know, so I can only, and I had that realization of like, oh, that's how the Series X, that's what they're using, is that old classic Rumble. So, yeah, crazy.
Yeah, and in the developing news of PlayStation kind of building their Games Pass, PlayStation is phasing out PlayStation Now gift cards amid speculation of Games Pass style service. This is also from IGN, written by Matt Kim. This is something we've kind of been talking about for a bit, especially you, because you've said, like, what if people buy PlayStation Now subscriptions for Christmas or something and get them? Like, what's going to happen?
Like me.
Yeah, exactly. Them phasing it out is a sure sign. I'm kind of excited to see, like, what they do. There's no way they just abandon the streaming side of games completely. That's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
So, however it carries over is going to be interesting. If they tie it in with PlayStation Plus, whether they just extend your membership with the card you got and then give you some perks or something, not really sure, but I'm excited because I think it was rumored for like March that this would come out.
Yeah,
or at
around
least be
there.
Revealed. Yeah, so we're closing in on it.
Yeah, so it was just UK retailers. They were asked to stop selling the PS Now cards by January 21st. The reason Sony gave was because they wanted to switch more to just their PlayStation gift cards, like they're just money system, you know, like the store gift cards. So you can still, right now they're saying that if you want a PlayStation Now subscription, you can buy it using the store gift cards. So like they didn't get rid of the subscription, they just got rid of the physical like cards you could buy.
Which makes sense, honestly. How many people are really buying those? And that just takes up shelf space for PS Plus and money cards, you know?
Yeah, I'm curious. Do like retailers buy? Is it like the same idea as like shelving? Like, do they have to pay for the stock of gift cards and stuff? And we are back. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Ron's power went out while we were recording.
Yeah. You know what's funny, Zach?
Do you know why?
That picture where I went out, it's because it's snowing. It's windy.
Is that it? Like I didn't know if like somebody crashed into a line or something. If you knew.
No. I have
like some Twitter page for your.
No. I don't have.
County or whatever.
Who's our weather guy? Scott WPXI. Scott did not at my area and say, "Hey, power's out." Love him. No, I have a friend who lives nearby, and their power went out too. So I was asking him. But yeah, so while I was gone, Zach, and this is non-video game news, our buddy Matt, I hope he's listening, put this in our group chat that he bought a family-size Wendy's Frosty chocolatey cereal, and he's going to let us know how it is. And honestly, this is either the most god-tier cereal that's ever going to exist, or this is just some crap that I think he's going to be disappointed by. I really want to talk about that.
I think it's gonna be disappointing.
You know what? If it's not good enough to dip your oh wait. Honestly, here might be the meta. Ready? Get the milk.
If you're ever gonna say what, dude, if you're gonna say what I think you are.
What, to freeze it?
No, but that's worse. Oh my god. Okay. Go ahead.
I don't know what you said. I'm sorry. It cut out. We might have to go we might have to do non-camera because I think both of our internets are kind of wickety right now.
Heard.
I don't want. I'm sad. I won't see her face anymore, but I'm gonna turn it off just in case. This is a huge L. You know what? No, I'm leaving it on until that happens one more time. What would you say though?
Hell yeah.
I said about freezing it, making like an ice cream out of it is what I was trying to get at.
I think that's be disgusting.
Oh, 110%.
I think that'd be really disgusting.
110% cut out again. I'm turning the camera off. What, an ice cream out of it would be disgusting, or just a cereal?
Trying to make ice cream out of it would be disgusting.
I don't know.
Because I think, like, the Frosty is ice cream, and, like, they don't use any special milk to make the Frosty. They just use normal milk. Mm-hmm. So if you use this weird concoction of Frosty cereal milk, you're just not going to end up with... Like, just make the Frosty. You know what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying, but I'm choosing to politely ignore it, and I'm just going to let the viewers decide what would be fire. But the other thing I have a complaint about, too. While I was gone, I was texting my roommate, Greg, see if he wants to play Mario Party on my tiny Switch screen so we can do something, because I don't know how long this would be out. And Rachel was going to play with us too, and then potentially Aaron when he wakes up from his comatose. But what my complaint about Nintendo is that it's hard to find Joy-Cons. I was looking mainly at GameStop. I was just looking them up and seeing like what I could find, and it's like, here's all the refurbished ones we have. Here's all this X, Y, and Z. I've never been in the GameStop by me, but I think I might just be better off going to Target and Best Buy and seeing what I can find there. But I'm just saying, it was just kind of annoying because they were out of stock when I was searching them up. And I need to buy more because there's 4 of us. Does that make sense?
No,
and then we have
I
a
definitely
party,
get what you're saying.
a literal Mario party we could play.
I'm like looking at them on sale right now online.
Deadass? Where?
Yeah, Walmart, Target.
Maybe GameStop just sucks now. Is that true?
I mean, that's on brand. Amazon.
No, Amazon was being kind of well. Amazon was like a lot more expensive.
Now I click on it.
Yeah, and they weren't.
Now I click on it.
Yeah.
Oh no, they do have them. How much? $80. Isn't that the normal
I thought
price?
They were 70
$80. I mean, these are like weird colors though, so maybe they're more expensive.
That's $80. I had to drop. Ugh.
I mean, they have a bunch of different color options.
That's great. I need to find ones that go well with white. Neon. That's it.
Neon.
Yeah.
They make that switch with the neon colors.
And I don't like it. I thought it was only all white, and I thought that looked cool. And I don't like that they have an all neon one with it.
I wish they like switched them. You know what I mean? Like I wish they like.
Yeah. So it actually is like different. You know.
You know, like made the left one red and the right one blue.
Yeah.
You know,
that would be cool.
Is that how it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that way you know
it's
a different switch.
But anyway, Zach,
the Fortnite
before we're so
pretty
rudely
cool.
interrupted by God and all of his schemes, my power going out. PS3 games were reportedly shown on the PS5 store. Now this has happened before though, so I did want to bring that up. But it was just spotted again, which kind of ties more into the rumor of backwards compatibility being more of a thing soon. I wanted your thoughts on it.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think if they're gonna do this Games Pass thing, then like this is just also a natural progression of it. Like, how are you gonna have a Games Pass and not include a significant portion of your game library? You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense.
That's just kind of gonna be like what happens. I think what'll happen is that PS3 symbol will stay the same, but then there will be like a PlayStation Now or whatever they call it next to it. So you can either buy it or get it on the streaming service in some way, shape, or form. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, there was a patent filed by Mark Cerny, titled "Backward Compatibility Through the Use of Spoof, Clock, and Fine-Grained Frequency Control." So that's also a suggestion that PS3 games could be coming to the PSN store if you're playing on a PS4
Likely soon.
or PS5. Likely soon. I think they will include it in Games Pass, but I think that whatever's not on it like will be available to buy. Not everything, but I think there will be a significant amount that will be available to buy. Also, side note, Ron, the plates, the colored plates and colored controllers, the blue, purple, red, pink, and black, you can now purchase those if you didn't know.
Well, you have to pre-order them. At least that every time I've tried to get them on PlayStation Store, whenever they said you could buy it, it said pre-order. So I think they
I don't know. I
next
saw
week.
someone on Reddit post a picture with all of them.
You cut out again, and I talked over you the whole time.
Oh, I saw someone post a picture of them on Reddit, like all of them,
Owning them?
like on a bed.
I'm
Yeah,
so
like on a
I'm
bed.
so confused then, because I looked at all the stores and they said not available until this date. That's really
Oh, then I don't know. Maybe it was an influencer who like got them. Then I don't
maybe
know.
that'd be kind of hype though. Yeah,
knows?
I'll
But,
look into
Ronald.
that then. Because I want that blue controller, but I might be buying Joy-Cons sooner than I think. So we'll see.
Right.
Yeah. But it'll be another week or so. But anyway, when I get that blue controller, trust me, I will have a review on that. You pretty much already have the purple controller by making it yourself.
I basically
Yeah.
do.
Yeah,
Low-key kind of have a better one.
in some way. Yeah, I don't like the grips on yours though. They're too
like
too
the matte
slidey.
feel?
I don't like it.
Ooh, I do.
Because
Like
I used Greg's a little bit, his Last of Us controller, and it was kind of the same thing.
Yeah,
That's just a one
I
man's
don't know.
preference.
I guess. I mean, I think it also just comes down to getting used to it. He also has those back buttons on it, which I feel like you're gonna hold a little differently.
Oh yeah,
So-
definitely. My hands were cramping when I used them.
Yeah.
Real bad. But yeah, so that's just kind of like the PS3 news on everything, and I guess plate news as well. But Zach, there have been studios kind of potentially influencing Sony's decision when it comes to launching the exclusive games on PC. And I think with the success of God of War and Days Gone and Horizon, that's just going to kind of keep snowballing. And it's
Yeah, I
already
mean, it
coming
only
out
makes
soon.
sense. Yeah, it only makes sense to do it. I mean, we have a few quotes here from Cory Barlog, and a lot of this is something that a lot of the studios had been asking for, and he's quoted here saying, "I think it was the collective of studios all over saying this is a really good idea. We should be looking into this. Eventually, I think it reached this tipping point when we had sent so many suggestions that they were like, I'm tired of hearing all of this. Fine, we'll do this. It's a process. We're still figuring it out as a company and as individual studios, how to do this and what the process and strategy will be." So obviously it started with Horizon Zero Dawn, was like the first like Sony IP that was ported over, that really took off. And then, we saw Death Stranding, Days Gone, and now God of War, and I'm assuming Ghost of Tsushima will be very soon.
Yeah, or before like the movie comes out, I think.
Yeah.
Because I think that'll help that multiplayer kind of aspect pop off.
Yeah. I mean, Ron, we kind of already touched on this a little bit with Phil Spencer's, like when we were talking about the Phil Spencer article, but this just makes sense. I mean, God of War has been receiving even more praise than it has these past couple months because it just released on PC. I think there's a lot more buzz around God of War now, which is great for Ragnarok coming out soon. We still don't know if Ragnarok will be on PC or how long it will be. I feel like it's going to be some time.
It's good.
Like, there's no shot that it releases alongside.
It won't release alongside, but I think it'll come to PC sooner than God of War 2018's did.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
And
I agree with that.
I love the there's been a lot of tweets of people on PC playing God of War saying like how much they love the game and everything, and everyone who's played it like on PlayStation said just wait till that last Valkyrie. And everyone's like, what are you talking about? Like, what about the Valkyries? Yeah. They're like, oh, no, just wait till you do the last Valkyrie. It's fine. And they're like, okay. And then after like a day or two, Twitter's been flooded with clips of everyone just getting absolutely smacked by this Valkyrie on PC.
Yeah, what's her name? Sigrid?
Something like that,
or something like that.
Sigmund Freud.
Dude, those Valkyries are tough.
There was only two I had difficulty with, and it was... the last one was the biggest pain in the ass because it's just a combination of all of them.
Well, I think like now the Valkyries are such a thing that like I think a lot of people like do New Game Plus and like active like I think there's ways to buff them and make them harder to beat, and I think people like have been grinding that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I God of War has been doing great on PC, and this just makes so much sense just to bring everything over to PC, mainly just because
you broaden the market.
It's just more people. Exactly. Like I've heard, especially when I was in college, and like a lot of the people I, was friends with, they had Xbox. Like we would just get into talking about video games and stuff, and they'd always bring up, oh, that God of War game, it looks so cool, like Ghost of Tsushima. Actually, my one friend, he the day Ghost of Tsushima released, he was so excited he opened the marketplace and tried to buy it because he didn't know it was an it was a PlayStation exclusive. And he was real upset. Like he went and bought the cards and everything to buy the game. So that was a big L for him. But yeah, man, I think getting these games into I think PC can be the bridge for everyone. So
yeah, it's kind of the way it's just been going, especially if Discord integration is brought in. I think the problem right now is that PlayStation's kind of had the thing of like our games are what makes PlayStation, and I think they're trying to figure out their branding in that sense of like we want games to still be on PC, but we still want the heart and soul to be like on our console, which Microsoft still touts a lot. Is like Halo's best played on console, like they're like Forza is X, Y, and Z. But I think Sony's just trying to figure out like the best way to do that.
Well, I think as we move more into the PS5 generation and we get more games dedicated for PS5, as people get more people get their hands on a PS5, I think where that specification is going to become is like with the DualSense controller, with the new VR that they're having. Like I think that right now, PlayStation's in a position that moving forward, they can kind of lean back on, okay, so Ratchet and Clank is coming to PC, but you're not going to experience haptics, you're not going to experience adaptive triggers, you're not going to experience, the 3D audio that you'd get on PlayStation. So I think they still have that footing of like, PlayStation games are best played on PlayStation, but if you don't have a PlayStation or you're a PC gamer, you can experience them. And maybe that's enough. Maybe if someone out there who hasn't played, console in a while or doesn't own a console and just plays on PC, if they play games like God of War and then Horizon and then Ghost of Tsushima when that ends up coming, maybe they are swayed a little bit to be like, oh, you know what, I wonder what this feels like. I wonder what this haptic thing is all about, or I wonder, I wonder how this would work or feel on an actual console. Especially depending on what they're doing with 4K. Like if they have other first-party studios dedicated, or not 4K, I'm sorry, PSVR. Excuse me. If they have other first-party studios dedicate their time to PSVR, like Gorilla, I think that is huge, because if you can then integrate different aspects of VR into these big AAA experiences, then I think that's even more reason to make that switch or move over from PC to PS5. You know, because I'm sure that already there are, you know, mainly PC gamers who do have a PlayStation just for games like God of War and Ghost of Tsushima. You know, I'm not saying a lot. Maybe I have no idea, but there's definitely out there. You know, so I guess it just depends on how many there really are, and if we can, well, if PlayStation can get more to move over, or operate like that.
Yeah, and I agree with that too. And I think they're trying to kind of build more than just having exclusives before they start putting stuff on PC, if that makes sense. I think that's just kind of the way they have to go about it, because they need to have VR. Their exclusives are just the thing of the right now, and they're going to build more multiplayer first-party IPs. We've already had confirmation on that, and I think I already said VR, but then potentially like the streaming service too. They kind of need something to bring everything together and create their own universe, as I'm sure they would love to say. But Zach, speaking of PlayStation exclusives, Troy Baker has been a big part of Sony exclusives in the past, most notably Last of Us Part 1 and 2. He's been involved in some NFTs lately, which I personally think are just a scam, and it seems Ubisoft and a couple other developers are starting to kind of integrate NFTs into their games, which I think is just, you know, stupid. But, you know, to each their own. You can spend your money the way you want. But Troy Baker received a lot of criticism about it. I know you have some news about that.
He did. So Troy Baker has made a partnership with a company called voiceover NFT. What this company, it's called voiceover, and then their handle is at voiceover NFT. I'm sorry. So what this company is they want to partner with voice actors in order to create basically like a package of their voice. So hypothetically, say me and Ron were designing a video game, and we wanted to have a good voice actor in our video game, i.e. Troy Baker. But me and Ron, based off the income we make, we cannot afford to put Troy Baker into our game. So with this company, I would be able to basically buy Troy Baker's voice pack for a fee, and I would then own that pack. So we can incorporate his voice in our game, have him voice a character, do whatever. We don't need to pay him any money. We don't need to create a contract with him. There's no royalties. We own every bit of revenue that game brings in. So, you know, Troy's original tweet was, "I'm partnering with @voiceverse NFT to explore ways where together we might bring new tools to new creators to make new things and allow everyone a chance to own and invest in the IPs they create. We all have a story to tell. You can hate or you can create. What'll it be? ? And then there's a little image of him
with the monkey, because the monkey's been like the big NFT art that has been being bought around, so it's just kind of around that kind of thing. Oh, okay. That's why he looks like a little monkey. What I hate about this, Zach, is that if people can buy your voice, they can make you say a lot of really bad stuff.
Yeah, so
that's what
there's a lot of
about it. And I think that's just, it's unwise for him to start doing that.
Yeah, and so tweets flooded in after this, criticizing him, criticizing this deal he's made, this movement that he's kind of getting behind, for kind of the reason you said, Ron. If, you know, hypothetically, if this works the way he's saying it is, people can make him say whatever they want. And, you know, I'm sure it wouldn't take a super talented sound editor to maybe make some very incriminating things with Troy Baker, and his voice. But also the other thing that came around too is, you know, a lot of people responded with how some of their artist friends have been burned on NFTs, you know, and also mainly, I guess, like the argument that most would affect Troy is, you know, if me and you, Ron, can buy Troy Baker's voice pack for, I don't know, say $25, you know, say that's how much it costs. We pay $25, right? Why would we say we get to a point where we're working on our third game? Why would we pay for Troy Baker?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the argument then is he's kind of not only killing his own business, but also killing other voice actors' businesses because, you know, why would we pay the prices to make a contract with Troy Baker where we have to pay him royalties or whatever that might entail when we can just pay a flat fee and use his voice in any way we want.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. It's just, for me, it's just like, I don't like, listen, deep faking has already gone very far in the tech of it already, and someone having unlimited access, like some of it was highlighted in some of the tweets too, but like it's unlimited perpetual access to voice. That is terrifying, and you're gonna sell that. He's also a musician too, who has like other side stuff besides video game voice acting and just acting in general. And I think it's just it's a weird partnership. I don't know if it was thought through enough.
I mean, like with the same concept, like hypothetically say like, you know, I have no idea, and I'm not gonna call any specific like famous like musical artists out for it, but like it's been talked about how like some artists use ghostwriters, right? And the music that they sing isn't their words. You know, if you're a ghostwriter, if you can pay, you know, $25 for a musician's voice, you can create music using their voice, and you can make all that money. You don't have to be a ghostwriter
because you bought the rights to their voice, so you can have Troy Baker as a feature on your song. Yeah. In that sense, or you could just make anything. Like you could just remix them in any way. I don't know. I think it's just really weird. You don't have to credit him at all.
Yeah. So Troy Baker has a follow up tweet after all these, you know, kind of this explosion of lashback from it. I don't know if you saw, but even Skill Up was talking about it as well.
I did.
So he tweets, I always wanted to be a part of the conversation, even if sometimes that finds me in the midst of a loud one. Appreciate y'all sharing your thoughts and giving me a lot to think about. I'm just a storyteller out here trying to tell my story to whomever will hear it, and hoping I can help others do the same. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I'm grateful there are those who are passionate about their stance and not only feel safe to express that, but also have the means to do so. Hope y'all will forgive me for that bad attempt to bring levity. Anyway, feel free to resume the conversation or not as you please. I appreciate those with truth showing it, those with support offering it, and those with an anger doing their best to express with it.
And then a rock on emoji.
A rock on emoji. Also, in an update to that, Troy Baker has a podcast with, it's called Play, Watch, Listen, with Alana Pierce and Mike Bithell, and as well as Austin Wintroy. On this podcast, you can, on the 90th episode, it's titled Talking to Troy Baker About His NFT Tweet. Troy does get into and explain more of his stance and why he did what he did and his thought process behind it. To briefly kind of discuss it and recap it, the NFT aspect wasn't the reason he signed up. The main reason was to give people access who are creating and want to create things but don't have the ability to pay for him. They can create quality content that will help them and just basically spark the fire of creativity. Great sentiment. I think that's like, I mean, that's definitely, I think, a good reason for him to want to do this. And, you know, he does reiterate that the NFT aspect wasn't a selling point for him at all. It was something he admits to not even really knowing much about, but he did reach out to Voiceverse and to clarify more of the specificities of this and how this will work and all that. So a lot of this is quoted in the article I'm looking at on IGN. It is by Adam Burkhurst and Matt Purslow. So you're more than welcome to read that, or you could just go listen to the podcast. If you want to get his real thoughts and opinions, I'd probably listen to the
What's better to listen to the podcast now before his voice is used to record a podcast? We can have him as a special guest, Zach. Oh, we have to pay just a little bit of money. Really
Yeah,
think
we
about
actually
it.
could,
Yeah,
honestly.
we can get he can actually say
right.
that Joel deserved to die, which
Yeah,
in
so
some
like,
ways he might have, but still, you know.
yeah, so I mean, we'll see what happens with this. Obviously, the community is not very pleased about it. You know, Ron, this isn't the first time we've seen in the video game industry people in companies starting to discuss more about NFTs and their place. You know, EA has already said that NFTs are going to be an important part of their future. Square Enix president noted that they're exploring NFTs in this coming new year, and then even Sega, you know, has been on record and said, you know, we're gonna look into them, but like they did reiterate that. Well, they did, you know, clarify that, you know, they'll drop it if fans are like see it as simply money making,
and they will.
So
can't wait, because if EA gets alongside of it, it is simply seen as money making, and you cannot convince me otherwise.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, Square Enix, the publisher of Marvel's Avengers, which was pitiful,
horribly
horribly
reviewed.
And EA, the
electronic assholes of the gaming industry. Yes.
It's in the game.
It's
man.
in the game. Dude, it just takes a
So-
sense of pride and accomplishment to really invest into NFTs when it comes to EA games. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know what I wish I could invest in though, Zach?
What's
PS5s. And it doesn't seem I'm going to be able to. Mainly just because of the shortages, the chip shortages. But you know what I can invest
you know
in?
what you can invest in?
Oh, I like where your mind's going. PlayStation 4. Almost had it. But yeah, PS4s, mainly just because the chips that they use for PS4s are different than the ones on PS5s, and the company still has to make money. That's the reason that they're doing it this way. It makes sense. On a headline, it looks terrible because Microsoft is ramping up production of their newest consoles, and they're stopping production of Xbox Ones.
Yeah, this is a very dangerous article.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for people who just are looking at headlines and aren't actually reading the article, because I can see why, if I have been unable to acquire a PS5, that this would probably frustrate me a lot.
Right.
Because I think the natural thought process would be, why would you be making more PS4s when you can take that time, effort, and resources into making sure you're making more PS5s? And as you kind of said, Ron, the reason is because the chips aren't the same. There's not the same shortage that there is for the PS4, and the hope is to stimulate people who want a gaming console.
Exactly, and kind of keep people in the
PlayStation ecosystem.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
That also, the other added benefit too is if Sony has said if they are making PlayStation 4s, they will have more access to get the components that they need for PS5s. Mm-hmm. I don't know exactly why that is, or
there's
how
still
that
a cash
works
flow
on a
coming
business
in
end.
that can help them.
Right.
Order more.
Yeah.
Is my assumption. I'm not a business.
I'm sorry. No, it says here they get, quote, more leeway when negotiating with manufacturing partners for a better deal. So potentially, maybe because of this, maybe because they're making more PS4s, maybe rather than getting, 2 million chips, they're able to get 3 million chips. So I don't know. I don't know the business side of it.
I know absolutely nothing about that. And that's where my comments stop. I'm just reporting it, Zach. But, Zach, it seems that a Sony first-party studio might be taking over the Twisted Metal reboot.
Yes, Ron. Yes, Spitfire or Fire Sprite is said to be being the ones who are going to be in charge of this,
which keeps them busy.
So, it's a UK-based studio known primarily as a developer for VR games,
and they're working on the Horizon VR game coming for VR too.
They are. How do you feel about this, Ron? How do you feel about Twisted Metal?
I never played it. That wasn't a game I owned on PS2. If I played a PS2, I know it's not like I believe it's not a racing game. I think it's more of like combat racing kind of sense of like arena battle cars. I think that's how it is.
Yeah.
I only ever really played Need for Speed games and Jack X, so I can't really say.
I don't know.
I think it's cool. I'm happy for it. A lot of people love Twisted Metal on Reddit.
Yeah,
But that's
I
the
see a
internet.
bunch of people always asking or talking about Twisted Metal.
I love the
I've
Twisted
never played
Metal
it, and
cars on
honestly, I
Rocket
don't
League.
know anything.
Rocket League has some Twisted
are
Metal
they?
cars. Yeah,
Yeah,
if I remember
yeah.
correctly.
I have no clue what Twisted Metal. There was 3 of them, wasn't there?
I think so. Yeah, but it was very beloved. It kind of had like
It
the
is,
same like
it is.
love like Crash Bandicoot did.
Yeah, because the first one came out on PlayStation 1, right?
PS1 or PS2. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's been
And I
around
think
for
the
a
last
while.
one came out on PS3,
I
if
think
I'm not
so.
mistaken.
Yeah, it's kind of just dropped off
Right?
since. Yeah, there was nothing for PS4 that I know of, unless there's some like remaster.
Oh, definitely not. Definitely not.
But yeah, that's.
Oh, no, dude. Twisted Metal 3 came out on PlayStation 1,
Oh, really?
1998. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, that's been a while. Were there any for PS2?
Holy crap. Twisted Metal for
Because I think there was.
PS2. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there was Twisted Metal Black and Twisted Metal Head On.
Yeah, because I had a friend.
Yeah, PlayStation 2, Twisted Metal Black. What about PS3?
I forget what friend it was from back in the day, but I remember when him and I would play our PS2s, he would bring up Twisted Metal a lot. I don't think I ever played it with him. I might have once, but
Yeah. And then
I
they
know
made just
I know it
just
was out on
Twisted
the
Metal.
PS2.
Yeah, and they do have a Twisted Metal for PS3,
Okay.
just called Twisted Metal.
Heard.
So,
But yeah, I'm excited for the people who love the series. I don't really think anything of it though, to be honest, because I never played it. But it'll be a nice kind of game to go into blind if I do decide to get it.
I agree. I think it'd be really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'd be really cool.
I like those kind of combat racing. If it's the genre I'm thinking of, but I like those combat racing type of games. And Fire Sprite's a good dev.
Yeah.
Maybe there'll be a VR mode to it. That'd be kind of cool.
That'd be kind of
I can see it happening. They work with VR games.
I'll tell you what, Ron. I've never wanted to like the steering wheel attachment for the PlayStation. I've never really cared about it, but playing Hot Wheels, I've actually really kind of started wanting one.
I don't know if I'd want one.
I won't get one.
Yeah, okay.
But
Maybe for like VR or something. I think it would be cool.
oh, absolutely for VR though. That's the thing. If you're playing a racing game in VR, I feel like the steering wheel would just
It's just
make
necessary.
everything better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Zach, last week we reported on some of the most top downloaded games of December 2021. Now we have a list of the top downloaded games on PS4 and PS5 for the entirety of 2021. And there's a little bit of a couple of good surprises on there, I will say. Speaking most notably towards Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales,
coming in at number
3 on the PlayStation 5. Specifically.
Yes.
For
Yes,
PS4, it's not on here.
Yeah, so the PS5 list is NBA 2K 2022, Call of Duty Vanguard, Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales, 4 is Madden NFL 2022, 5 is Battlefield 2042, 6 Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, 7 Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, 8 MLB The Show 21, 9 Resident Evil Village, and 10 Far Cry 6. I'm shocked that Ratchet and Clank is actually on here, and that's actually kind of really awesome.
I was surprised too, but then when it's just like specifically PS5 games, I'm not that shocked. I am surprised it's higher than Call of Duty Cold War for PS5 specifically.
Yeah.
That's what surprised me. I wasn't surprised it was on the list. I was just surprised it was higher than that. Personally.
Yeah.
Considering
I
it's
agree with
only on the one system, which makes sense because talking about the top PS4 downloaded games of 2021, number 1, no surprise, GTA 5, which there's a rumor that it might get delayed for the reboot past March. We'll see. Number 2, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Number 3, Minecraft. 4, NBA 2K22. Number 5, Call of Duty Vanguard. Number 6, Madden NFL 22. Number 7, NBA 2K21, 8, Red Dead Redemption 2, which is honestly really surprising, but also not that surprising. Number 9, MLB The Show 21, and 10, Mortal Kombat 11. There's been a lot of...
Mortal Kombat's really surprising, but wasn't Mortal Kombat free?
I don't know if it'll count. I don't know. I'm not sure. It was free. but I don't remember if it counts. Remember the XL? I thought it was a bigger Mortal Kombat 10, but it wasn't. Yeah. But Red Dead 2 surprised me. There's been a lot of like free, like fix the multiplayer kind of things going on with Red Dead 2, because I guess GTA's just been getting like all the love, and Red Dead 2 Online really hasn't. Yeah. So that's been kind of like a developing thing. Rockstar's kind of had their plate full lately.
I'm kind of surprised Cold War is above Vanguard.
I'm not. It had the whole year to be bought.
Yeah, but Vanguard beat on the PS5. Vanguard beat Cold War by like a lot. Well, I mean, I guess we don't have the actual numbers, so we don't know if it's a lot.
Because it's specifically for PS5, you know. So I'm sure a lot of people already like bought it for PS5, like towards the end of the year in the early parts, and then Vanguard.
Yeah, but wouldn't the PS4, wouldn't the PS4 PS5 edition also count as a PS4 sale, or no?
Maybe. It's kind of the weird thing. I don't know how they count it. Maybe the $60 is only for like the PS4 version, and the $70 they count as PS5 sales. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, I guess that would make sense, because I guess if you weren't planning on getting a PS5, you just get the normal PS4 version. Right. For Cold War. Yeah.
But there's like a weird, I don't think there's like an upgrade path either, so I think you kind of have to buy the $70 version if you think you'll own that one later. Yeah. They're really scummy.
I agree with you. I don't think there is either.
Activision's scummy for a lot of reasons, but that's one of them. But you know what is nice, Zach, to get away from all the scum of EA and Activision?
What's up,
is man? The graceful YouTuber who added a PS5 Controller Adapter that allows for one-arm play, for just to make it more accessible for the controller, which is awesome. I think Sony needs to kind of just do that themselves, but I'm proud of this person for doing that.
Yes, the YouTuber's name is Akaki Komeri. I hope I pronounced that correctly.
We try our best.
Go ahead, Ron.
No, I mean, that's it. Yeah. But like, I mean, the little bit to go into the article is the 3D print files are free for anyone. So if you own a 3D printer, that's great. I'm sure there will probably be like, I don't know if this guy owns like an Etsy store. I didn't really get to read too much into the article, but I know it's like a more of a complex design. A complex design, and involves offloading thumbstick movement to the shoulder by placing a kind of like rubber shoe on your thigh or desk, and the shoe is attached to an arm which reaches around to the face of the controller to move the thumbstick. So
oh wow.
Yeah, it's a complex design, but like it depended, like, I mean, if we had the like the gamepad or anything for PlayStation like Xbox does, we wouldn't really have to make stuff like this. But there are like controllers and other like computer tech that works similar to this, so I'm assuming this is like kind of where he got the idea from. But it's nice that it's free, and I'm sure there will probably be like Etsy stores or like something like any storefront that maybe this guy runs or someone where you can just buy it, because not everyone owns a 3D printer. But I think it's really cool.
Yeah, I think this is dope, dude. We're always down for some things that make things more accessible for more people. I would love to be able to play with one hand. Actually, it was funny. I was just talking to Elise the other day because she was playing Sims, and she like I guess all you do is click stuff in Sims.
Have you never played Sims before?
No,
that's such a sad life. I'm sorry. I love Sims.
But so she was just like doing stuff with her left hand. I was like, I was like, do you only need to click in that game? She's like, yeah. And I was like, wow. I wish I could play my games with just one hand.
Yeah. But the article mentions that Komeri talked about that he designed the controller attachment to be able to play It Takes Two, which is a co-op only game, by himself. The design could potentially help thousands of people, and until PlayStation releases an in-house controller, this is the best thing you can get for it. Which is
Wait, what does he mean by himself? Like without a second person?
Yeah, because you could essentially use two controllers, one in each hand, and play It Takes Two.
Oh wow, jeez.
Mm-hmm. And that was like kind of the purpose of the design, which is pretty cool.
That's actually kind of funny.
Yeah,
and really cool.
I love that. I still want to play It Takes Two, but I'll get to that point later in life.
It's a great game, man. I honestly, I'm shocked. I'm pleasantly shocked. It's definitely one of the best games I played this past year. So
yeah, I'm sure I'll feel that way when I get the chance to play it at some point. Yeah. But Zach, that is all the news we have for today.
Yes, it is, Ron. Is there anything else you'd like to add for the people listening?
Yes, absolutely. So if you are listening and you have any questions for us at any time, you can reach out to us at AskPSPonies@gmail.com. That is AskPSPonies@gmail.com. You can send us all your questions and comments and, hatred towards us. Honestly, we'll take anything at this point. You can also follow us on Twitter, which is where hate stems from. It is twitter.com/PSPonies. That's all I have to say.
Woot woot. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much, and we will catch you next week. I do apologize for any weirdness that this episode sounds or like off track it gets.
We had to get like kind of figured out. A lot of stuff went wrong.
Yeah, recording over Discord along with Ron's power going out. It just kind of messed up a lot of things. So hopefully next week we will have a much cleaner, put together podcast for our 51st episode of the PS Pony podcast. Whoop. So we will see you guys next week, and stay safe.
Bye.